everyone, Miss Emily here. Hope that this day finds you having a blast. I wonder, did we get any snow? I'm pre-recording this, so I have no idea if we got that second big snowstorm that they're predicting. I hope we did, because then we can have some fun in the snow later. I have some techniques that I have either discovered on my own or friends have shared with me. One is blowing ice bubbles, and another is snow ice cream. Who said art only had to be with, painting or drawing? Art can take many different forms. Maybe we can have some snow sculptures. Who knows? The possibilities are endless with this, aren't they? Anywho, wanted to give a quick intro to what we're going to be doing and hope that you have a blast. I cannot wait to see your family and your individual pictures or your videos that you're going to send to us. Of course you are. Because I will have prizes for everybody that is participating. If you signed up for the kit, awesome. If you didn't, but you still want to participate, go right ahead, grab whatever you have at home to participate. You'll need some paints, brushes. If you have canvases, awesome. If not, construction paper, printer paper, newspaper, whatever you got will work just fine. Cardstock. Just get all your supplies ready to go. You'll see supply lists in each of the different slides here, and it's going to be super fun for the canvas art or for the acrylic painting. And then if you have tempera paints at home, that's perfectly fine. I wouldn't use watercolors for these just because they bleed more, but I will be demoing as best as I can. I am not a professional artist, but I do love to have fun with drawing and painting. I will be demoing a giraffe, a cow, a lighthouse, and a flower. Take whatever mode you want, use my colors, use different colors. The possibilities are endless. Then you'll see a video on some watercolors. If you don't hear me talking, that's okay. I'm trying to demo a technique with a straw. I hope yours turns out better than mine. Then there are some crayon drawings and some fun stuff with permanent markers and whatever else you find. Find with some fun. There may be even some cookies that we demonstrate. And there's going to be some shaving cream art, not all in this video, because that's just so much stuff. So you'll see this video, and then you will see two or three other videos throughout tomorrow, or throughout Sunday, January 31st, throughout the day. Yeah. So I hope you have a ton of fun. Super excited to see your creations. Don't forget to post them. And thank you so much for joining me. Ta-ta! Alright, well, here we are starting our giraffe acrylics. I am using brown, yellow, and black. This yellow specifically is King's Gold. You guys have basic colors, primary colors. I also have some red and white ready to go. This is going to be the basic stuff. And then for the background, I'm going to use green to let these colors sort of pop. And I'm using a smaller brush, since this is a smaller painting, and I want it to be little strokes.
For the nose and maybe some edges later, I will use the angled brush because it's going to get, it's stiffer and it's going to give a nice sharp edge. And we'll show that in a little bit. Okay, so I wanted to come back here and show you a little bit as to where my giraffe is. You'll notice that the brown isn't quite completely brown. See? That's much, much lighter. So what I've been doing is I have been swirling together. I put my blobs of paint fairly close to each other, and my table's crooked, so they're running, but whatever. So I've been swirling with my brush here. I have been swirling the yellow and the brown and the black together to kind of create these lighter colors here, these lighter browns, more of a sienna. And what I did before I started any painting was I prepped my area, so I got what I needed. I got my paints, I got my water, got my brush, pencils. I have my example of my giraffe. I sketched it out as best I could on my canvas, and then I thought about how I wanted the colors to go. And you know, animals, just kind of like our human, their fur, like human hair, their fur isn't a solid color, right? It isn't just a straight brown. It isn't just a straight yellow or black even, or even white. It's all kind of a mixture, and the textures are different. Here, I'll show you my kitty. This is Polaris, and look at her. She is not one solid color either, is she? She has lots of flecks of brown and tan, white and gray, and it makes up her coloring. And so to do that for our paintings, we're kind of mixing those colors together as well. And you see, you don't necessarily see the sketches so much now, the pencil sketch, because I'm covering that up with the paint. The brown is dark enough to kind of do that. And so I've swirled in some spots, like this is really dark. It's much darker than right here, right? So if I wanted to lighten it up, I'd come and get a little more yellow, and I can swirl that in like that, very gently. You don't want to go too fast, and I'm not using a very wide tip, am I? Nope. So you can swirl that in, and it starts to lighten up. And I may not want to have the muzzle, the nose of my giraffe too dark, so I'll get a little more white and I'll put it in and I'll swirl it on. Now the spots are different colors and are more pronounced on a giraffe than maybe the rest of the fur, so I'm going to have some fun here in a second and paint the spots. And the ears might be similar. The eyes are for sure going to be black, and the nose, the nostrils are going to be black too. And then I'll show you that in just a moment. Here we go. Alright, so you can see that I used my angled brush with a straighter, sharper edge, and I used that to outline my giraffe's nose, a little bit up on the cheekbone here, you can see that, and a little bit above the eyes. Can you see that? So it's a little more defined. And now, for my background, instead of green, I decided I wanted to have a coral color. So I took my red, my white, a little bit of brown, and the yellow, and I swirled those together, and now I have a much bigger brush. Okay? Oops. Much bigger brush. And this helps, because see all of that white space? That's not small like my giraffe's spots were. And I'm just sort of, you know, patting it and swirling it around. Right around the edges of my giraffe. I want to be careful so I don't, you know, get it too into the giraffe. But we swirl it around a little bit. And we're filling in to give that background and to give our giraffe a chance to stand out. Make sure you have your table covered. Acrylic paints do not wash out well. They'll wash out of your skin, but they're not going to wash out of your clothes, and most likely not your table. Okay? Alright, I'll show you a finished product here in a little bit. And we may have to touch up my ears. Here, see that? There's a little too much pink in there. Coral color. We'll have to touch that up. I'll have to go back in with my brown and yellow and black mixture. Okay? Giraffe shall be coming here soon. here we have our cow, little dairy cow. As you can see, I colored in the background again, and this time I used my yellow. I had it a little too close to the black, so that's why it's dark in some spots, but oops, oh well. I thought the yellow would help stand out my smokier gray color that I created. And then if you go close, you can see I did use some white. Here I made the swirly curls that you sometimes see on a cow. You know how soft the cow's fur is. It's almost like a cat sometimes. And so that's the texture, and it's not a pure white. Not a pure white. The eyes, I dabbed in a little bit of white around in the black. And then I created a lighter pink. My pink is very, very bright. So I wanted to dull that. So I used some red, some white, and some of the charcoal smoky color. Swirled that in. You can see here's the gray that I made. I mixed it with the black and the white. And there is the cow. Hope you guys had fun making this one. Can't wait to see your moves. Okay, here we have a lighthouse. I like doing drawings or paintings like this better than I do cows and giraffes because of the straighter lines. I chose to use red and white for the stripes. I'll go zoom in here, and I used a blue for the windows. Very basic, very basic. Why won't this show up? Ah, here it is. Here's the brush that I used for most of it. I dip it in the water and wipe it off. I used sort of a yellow-green. I mixed that with my white here, and then combine those colors, you can see, for my sky, and then just use the darker blue for the windows and a little bit of white and blue for the waves. Nothing super defined. A little bit of gold, a little bit of white and gray flecks up at the top for the light. And there is your lighthouse. Okay, so welcome back to my little owl drawing here. So I did a similar thing with our background. So to help shade in, I have a big crayon. This happens to be blue-green. And to make the sky, simple back and forth strokes like this. To make the lines for the base color, I have learned over the years, I am not a professional artist in any stretch of the imagination, but I've always liked to color, draw, sketch. Painting's not really my forte, but I can do some basic things that turn out okay. And so then, so you see that there are the basic back and forth strokes, and I use the side of the crayon. If you want it to be lighter, you need to use the side. Because if you press down hard, like you can see with the talons, with the toes, then you get that darker color, which I want for the challenge so they stand out, okay? Like that. So you can really see those. But to help keep things subtle, to keep things light, you want to use the side of your crayon. And then to get the swirly looks, so it looks a little more filled in, this is where those circling with a different color really help to fill in the white spaces and make it look fuller. Now I am using a darker blue. This is Pacific blue. And it helps, you know, because an owl would perch on a branch when it's awake during the evening. And get a dark blue sky. This is a really nice way to texture water, skies, mountains. Maybe you want to, and it also gives a little pebbly look. I am using sketch pad paper, so that'll really bring out, it's a little more porous, meaning it has a little, has more holes, places for whatever you're using to kind of seep in. So see, that's kind of fun, isn't it? So yeah, we got our little swirlies. I use just back and forth strokes with my crayon for the tree. And then the darker pressing, so the tip of the crayon for the eyes and the nose, and of course the edges. And I left the tummies bare. So there you have it. Owls at night or just getting into dusk. And that was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. And what do you say?
Smile, yep. I'm lying.
All right. So Martin and I are making circle pictures. We're using Sharpies. And to make the circles,
We use tape.
what do we use?
Tape.
We use tape. We use the tape circle
Yeah.
and tape holder. You want to show him, Martin, what it was? Because neither one of us can draw circles this round. So we used the inside part of a painter's tape. Yep, Martin's demonstrating. We used a pencil and we just placed, whoops, bad video. We just did this, you know, every so often and traced it, and then we're coloring. I am trying not to let any two colors touch, so you can always see the different color. There you have it.